Jake, what did you think of the how the Rams went about it, and a little bit of insight on some of their picks?
I thought the Rams did a decent job. I personally think this draft for both the Rams and the Chargers, the Chargers, I think, won the draft if you're going to consider it in the SoCal region, but I think with the Rams, I think they're kind of right now a little bit of a snake in the grass, kind of waiting for the free agent market to kind of open up, because they didn't really get – I just felt like this draft there was a lot of wow factors, and there were some picks where you're just kind of like, okay, do we really need, a guy in that particular position? But I think with the Rams, I think that, they went to the Super Bowl last year, so, there's really not too much that they got to change up. But I think free agency is kind of going to be the key for them going in. Just because, the draft was, I think I was reading on some, they got a B+ on some of the mock drafts that I saw. So, what does that tell you? But I think a lot of teams in the NFL right now are kind of just waiting for free agency.
I liked their first pick, Taylor Rapp.
Mm-hmm.
They lost, Weddle and Johnson in the secondary, so that's going to give them some bench strength and a little bit of beef up that position a little bit. What about you, John?
Well, it was for the Rams. It was a day of first couple days of just trading back and forth. Going up and down and kind of maneuvering to where they could be. And more or less the way that I looked at their whole draft was, let's work towards the future and depth, right? So you're absolutely right. You got Weddle and Johnson and this kid, can kind of fill some roles in special teams and working his way into and working under some seasoned veterans. The Darrell Henderson picked at 70, which is the kid from Memphis who's a running back. He's got a lot of speed. He's an outside zone runner. Can catch the ball out of the backfield. He's very explosive. They did keep Malcolm Brown on, so something's fishy about Gurley's knee. I don't know how much he's 100%, or they've said, hey, look at this kid's been banged up the last year, and we're gonna maybe kind of split some time a little bit more and get him some more help, to try to, it is a long season, and these guys you're asking a guy to run into a bunch of linebackers and defensive tackles. So that was unique. It was unique, and they had said this kid Henderson's got a lot of upside. So that was a little bit of a fishy, like, that kind of brought my attention to, like, I wonder, you're taking this guy as your second pick. You must need some. They let a couple guys go too in the running backs. And then the other stuff is stuff for, I think, the future, right? So you got the kid David Long from Michigan. He's the kind of, how long are you going to have Talib? How long are you going to have Peters? Peters really didn't do his, he didn't have a great year last year, but he got hurt.
Is Talib in the final year of his
right, exactly. So is this a kid for the future? Because maybe you lose one or you lose two, and then the Bobby Evans pick at the Oklahoma tackle is he the replacement for the Whitworth? And so I just kind of saw it more as a lot of developmental players, for the future, and. Like you said, I think they did an okay job. I think they picked guys that they needed in those positions that to kind of help their depth. And look at it. It's now that I'm looking at it, it's like the Rams are known for their offense, and now the Chargers are going to be known for their defense. You know what I mean? So, I think they went and got help where they needed down the road. Because of free agency, they might lose these guys, right? So
because the 49ers too, they're still in a rebuilding mode. They're going to be better, obviously, with Garoppolo coming back, but it's still the Rams' division to still lose.
And Seattle's going to be down probably this year.
The Cardinals are going to be down.
Right.
So the picks are nice for 2 years down the road to see what these guys can do. When it comes that time.
And the other kids, the Edwards kid from Wisconsin. again, you don't know if how much he's really going to get. He's a pretty good run blocker. I don't think he's a very good pass blocking guy. And then the Dakota Allen and the Mick Scotts and the Greg Gaines, the pick for the defensive tackle. He's a really good run stopper. The kid they got last, I don't know what number it was, but he's from Washington, and they say he's pretty good on the run defense. I noticed that that was probably somebody they needed to pick up, because I don't think. I don't know what the update is with Dominican Sue and if he's gonna, come back. If I'm him, look at you're not a wow factor anymore, and if you get the number you can from them, just stay there, right? Because you're gonna look great next to Donald. So just, but he might chase money, but that's the So again, I thought it was just they just needed they filled roles. Yeah. For depth, and that's probably with what they had to choose from. I think they did an okay job.
I think it was a smart draft. Now that Henderson, by the way, he had 31 touchdowns in 3 years at Memphis, so he can find the end zone. But like you say, I agree. I mean, they're not going to say it, but they've, like you said, Jake, they've got it's their division to lose. So they did add depth, and they did a lot of work for the future because they're not getting any younger, and they're in a luxurious position where they can afford to do that because they are so talented and because the division's so weak. So they can afford to go for the younger guys and look towards the future. I liked their draft. I liked it a lot. I thought they, like you say, they added depth.